Thank you for being here, Secretary. Quick statement. Professor Mann just lost a court case in British Columbia over his computer models, and he's refusing to produce the information. And one of the concerns that I have is we're making assumptions. I mean, he left out the entire medieval warming period in his computer models, and there were no buildings, there were no construction, manufacturing, there was no gas and coal industry. We had 300 years in recorded history where it was warmer than it is now, significantly warmer. Greenland was called Greenland for a reason. So we're pushing a lot of this stuff, and I live in a region that was devastated. Its forests were devastated in the buildup of building cities to build those cities. Again, the coal industry built the steel that built those cities. We're recovering from some of the bad practices that were done before. And in your solar future plan, we already know that in Japan, they're stacking up solar panels. They were the earliest adopters because there's no way to recycle those doggone things, or they're having difficulty. And in fact, in China, where they had been recycling them, those people are suffering from birth defects and even huge amounts of cancer. Nowhere in your plan does it address recycling or processing of the solar waste, the solar panel waste. There is no facility in Pennsylvania to deal with it. So what I'm asking is, in this rush to go after this, and in fact, we know that lead and cadmium leak out of these panels as they're exposed to rain and sun and the shifting temperatures. What are you doing to address the lead and the cadmium that gets into the groundwater at these solar farms? And we're using state money, for instance, with SEPTA, to get behind a solar farm in Adams County. You keep shifting all this stuff out into the rural communities and creating these environmental problems. What is your plan to address that?
So again, a couple of things within that. One, and I'll say I'm not familiar with the case you referenced in the beginning. I will say, just again, putting all of this in some perspective, the last time we saw carbon at the levels that we see it now, we added 100 parts per billion or 100 parts per million, and it took 8,000 years, over an 8,000 year period. We've added 120 parts per million in a 100-year period. So
by we, who do you mean we? Did nature do it the first time?
Representative Dush, you've posed your question. I'm going to debate right now, but thank you.
So, and at the point at which we were seeing those carbon emissions, we were 4 degrees hotter, and sea level was 50 to 80 feet higher. That is, again, reality of what we're up against and what we're dealing with. So what you call rush, I call urgency in addressing the issue. In terms of, I know, I'll just say bluntly, I think the solar panel discussion about the waste, there are a number of efforts going on amongst the solar panel manufacturers to figure out exactly that recycling infrastructure. Right now, the panels that are being put in place have a life expectancy of 20 to 30 years today. I have them on my house. I don't lose any sleep at night from having a solar panel on my house. So the waste issue is definitely something we need to address, but the climate issue is absolutely the thing right in front of us.
Thank you, Representative Dush.